As many of you may know, I have a different favorite player than most lifelong Patriots fans. Sure, there's Julian Edelman, Tom Brady, their loving relationship. Just ask the Tom Brady roast. Mine is someone who never played in Foxborough. Rather, Miami, Cleveland, and New Orleans. So as you can tell based on the title of the video and my awesome jersey, it's Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry went to LSU with best friend Odell Beckham Jr. Odell would get drafted 12th overall, but his equally as productive running mate would be selected 63rd. Now this was a stacked receiver class. There were Sammy Watkins, Odell, Brandon Cooks, Kelvin Benjamin, Devontae Adams, and Allen Robinson, and more. So Jarvis falling so far wasn't too much of a shock given his pre-draft workouts. He ran a 4.77 40-yard dash and had 51 athleticism score according to the NFL scouting report, 42nd of all wide receivers. Miami found their receiver of the future since Mike Wallace was getting up there in age, and he kind of showed out as a rookie. Now, not the best rookie year, but he would have over 750 yards and 5 touchdowns and lead the team in receptions with 84. He was also a pretty good punt returner and kick returner back then. However, in his second year in 2015, he would prove to be one of the best slot receivers in the league, have over 100 catches, 1,100 yards, a punt return that won his team the game, one of the best after-the-catch touchdowns I've seen, one of the best one-handers of the 2010s, and make the Pro Bowl. Just a great season. He continued to have this type of production until 2019, making 5 Pro Bowls, leading the league in receptions in 2017, with Jay Cutler as his quarterback. Also, it didn't count, but my god, this man caught a kickoff with one hand. Just kinda cool. He would then go to play Cleveland and play well in a different role there. He played in New Orleans in 2022, but was injured the whole year and never got his footing. Juice would not sign with the team in 2023. He is attending Jaguars rookie camp though. Now, box score stats are great, but what made Jarvis Landry one of the best slot receivers in the 2010s? I'll tell you what, he was one of, if not the most physical players in the league, with the ball in his hand specifically. Coming into the NFL, there were concerns about his frame, but they were so wrong. Juice broke every single tackle. Besides his rookie year, with the Dolphins, he was always at the top of the league in missed tackles forced and yak per reception. He would run through people, around people, and just make players have a bad day. Defenders say he's got that DB mentality, that dog, that fierce, aggressive. He's out there and he's playing hard, and that the only thing in his mind is kill every day. He was known as one of the hardest receivers to tackle just because of his physicality and effort on every play. Kind of like Deebo Samuel. The Dolphins ran so many plays just to get the ball in his hands so he could make a play for the team. Trucking people and bouncing off piles was his specialty. He was just slippery. He wasn't just physical with the ball, he was also a willing blocker. One article says that his career has been built on getting every ounce of ability out of his body combined with an unmatched passion and toughness. Jarvis would play injured all the time, which personally I don't believe in. But it just adds to how tough he was as a player, and it pushes my agenda. Wait, have you heard of Underdog Fantasy? Underdog is the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite players' projections, and you can win up to 80 times your money in a single night. If you want to become a dog, go ahead and download the app, or go to underdogfantasy.com and use code FANATICS when you sign up. They'll match your first deposit up to $250 and give you daily special picks for your pick'em entries. Personally, I've been doing a lot of the drafts for the MLB the past few days, and it's gone very well for me, let me tell you. You draft your favorite athletes and compete against real people, and whoever's team scores the most fantasy points takes home the cash. Again, that is code FANATICS for a first-time deposit match up to $250. Not only was he physical, but he's also one of the most versatile receivers in the league at the time. He served 2 different roles in his NFL career. With Miami, he was an after-the-catch, short guy in the slot. In Cleveland, while still in the slot, completely different. His average depth of target almost doubled his Miami totals in his first 2 seasons there. Miami used him as a slot gadget guy, kind of like a Deebo Samuel Percy Harvin, while Cleveland with Baker Mayfield treated him kind of like a real receiver and did not waste his other talents besides just depending on him to do something after the catch a lot of the times. That versatility had to do with just how reliable he plays at the receiver position. The quarterback, whether it was Ryan Tannehill, Jay Cutler, Matt Moore, or Baker Mayfield, could always rely on Juice to be where he needed to be on the play, and certainly catch the ball as he always does. Now, why do I say, as he always does? Well, outside of DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, and Odell, Juice might have had the best, strongest hands in the league. Sure, there were drops here and there, but who doesn't drop the ball? He was always one of the most targeted players in the league, especially with the Dolphins, so he always had to bring in every ball. Whether it was one-handed catches, being one of the best contested catch receivers, that ball was coming down. I remember this one toe drag snag on the Browns where Odell was literally behind him going to catch it. This man just stole it from him with absolute class. He was one of the most reliable receivers since he never really dropped it, unlike Calvin Ridley. My bad, Calvin. I bet I won't say something like that about you again. Now, I have not even mentioned the thing that he was best at. Juice was one of the best route runners in the NFL during his career. Jarvis was able to get people to open their hips, lose their leverage, and allow him to cut to get wide open. He was especially good on out routes, always very efficient there, because he would sell the inside route with multiple moves. He would cut inside, hit another move inside, and cut out, and end up with so much space around him, the DBs would cry. The big thing about the out route is selling an inside route by releasing it to the inside, making a quick subtle move in again, and cutting directly out. I try to do that in my flag football league, but I ain't built like that. Jarvis had the footwork to do so though, so he took advantage of every single defensive back on outs, and corners specifically. He had to orchestrate his routes in specific ways to create separation, because as I told you earlier, even though it was just tights, he's not that fast, like at all. So his mentality and footwork helped him find ways to get open despite that lack of speed. Like Drake, he's a master manipulator and was great on play action passes. There were a couple times where this guy would fake a block or slow run the route until the cut. For example, on a goal line fade or a quick out route. He always got the defensive back lacking because they were just expecting him to block or be fake running a route to get away from the play. But nah, he would really run that. One of Jarvis's greatest abilities was engineering a route and a release as a ruse, like on double moves, moving his head and shoulders outside just to cut up or in, making the defensive back change his ideology on the play and cut towards that out, just for him to get toasted. He could do this because of his insanely quick footwork and football IQ, knowing that he can make those cuts that some receivers cannot, and knowing that he can fool the defensive back into believing what he wants them to believe, like taking candy from a baby. The most important thing for receivers are your eyes, head, and shoulders. No, not the shampoo, and no, not the song, so you can have sharp cutting routes. That's why you have to do things like look back at the quarterback to make the defender think you are looking for the ball on like a seam route, and then you cut. Those combined with a good deceptive release help you create separation. This is something that Jarvis had to do a lot. Since he does have that lack of speed, he had to master those IQ type of skills. His release off the line was also always sharp. He was great at starting slow, making the defender think that he's just running like a flat route or something like that, and then bam, quick movement to catch the corner off guard, or releasing inside, then crossing over the defender's body to go out, or vice versa. In general, his release was something that was actually a flaw of his coming out of college, but he worked on it so much because he just needed to. He knew he had that issue and was able to become one of the best route runners in the league and one of the best off-the-line receivers as well. Start to finish of his routes was something that receivers should study when they're coming into the league and in college. I bet LSU coaches teach them Jarvis Landry, Dolphins, and Cleveland film. Jarvis's football IQ was unmatched. His ability to find the soft spot in zones, read defenders, and all that. His technique, as I've brought up, is something that is near unteachable, that he has just learned through years of experience and being one of the smartest receivers in the league. And everyone looks at Juice as an infectious leader, and I hope wherever he goes this year, takes advantage of his amazing character and his ability to uplift a locker room. In Jarvis's 8-year career, he's got 713 balls for 7,870 yards and 38 touchdowns. He's had some weird seasons, like in 2017, when he led the league in receptions with 112, but only had 987 yards. Again, that was with Jay Cutler and Matt Moore as quarterback, but still a very odd season where his ADOT was second lowest in his career, next to his rookie season, where he had a very similar season, but less volume. Despite the success throughout his career with Miami and Cleveland, he never got the recognition he deserved. As a leader, smart, great route runner, especially with the Miami front office, which did not want to re-sign him long term. I remember I was pissed when they traded him, because watching him in that Miami blue was beautiful. While he was never the best receiver in the league, he's always in the top 10 conversations when healthy, and he is my favorite NFL player of the 2010s. And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you made it this far in the video, come on, just give it a like, subscribe to the channel. All support is very much appreciated, helps me out more than you know. Also, follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and TikTok and X at Fanatic Sports. Before I sign off, shout out to the intramural flag football team. We lost in the first round of the playoffs after being the first seed. Our two best players couldn't make it, but this is my season ball with the boys. It's a very sad moment. But this is Joe of Fanatic Sports, signing off.